Hello and welcome back to Pau in the foothills of the French Pyrenees for round 4 of the 5 race 2022 ICF Canoe Slalom World Cup. We've had over 220 athletes from 37 nations who have travelled here to Pau for this back-to-back finale either side of the Pyrenees as we look to crown the World Cup champions and we get into the sharp end of points allocation. Here in this artificial course in Pau, it is the final day of racing and we are eagerly anticipating the canoe semi-finals. It's the women's canoe and the men's canoe semi-finals this morning. And again, another very hot sunny day anticipated here in Pau, but perfect weather conditions for racing. There you can see barely a cloud in the sky, and at the moment a very pleasant temperature, but due to be about 33 degrees later on today, and that will certainly mean the athletes will be trying to fight for whatever shade there is to keep their cool. Our course designers have set the 25 gates course. Irati Goycochea from Spain, Anthony Collin of Canada have set the course with lots of options, and it'll certainly keep the athletes challenge. But we saw the kayaks in action yesterday. Today it is the canoes, the athletes kneeling in the boat with a single bladed paddle. We have the 30 fastest qualifiers from the heats racing in reverse order of their performance in the heats. So the fastest will go last, and there are only 10 places in the final. Here's the start list, the first 10 going down. There's some big names in this start line, the likes of world champion Mallory Franklin. She won that world title here in Pau. And then you've got Jessica Fox, the Olympic champion, who goes off third to last. But then you've got some youngsters like Zuzana Pankova of Slovakia, who really set the pace in the heats on Friday. She goes off last in this semi-final. So we're ready to start. My name's Andy Maddock. I will bring you all the action as it unfolds, and I'm welcome into the booth Sona Stanovska of the Slovak team. A very warm welcome this morning.
Good morning.
So it's a big field here in Pau gathered, and well, we start off with quite a big name right from the outset. Ana Shatila, it didn't all go her way in the heats for Brazil, but she's through into the semi-final and she's very capable of putting in a fast time. In fact, she was a medalist here at the World Championships in 2017.
Yeah, definitely one of the best paddlers so far. Here was a little bit late, but she can still make it because the course is long and it's quite hard, so one mistake means almost nothing.
So 6 upstream gates as normal, and particularly down the bottom, it's pretty physical, this course, would you say so?
Yeah, but also technical. Quite lots of nice move when you need to little bit wait to be just on the time, because when you do it too late or too fast, you might be out of another gate.
Well, that little mistake for Ana Shatila at the top seems to be put well and truly in the back of her mind, because she looks like she's found her rhythm now. She's very smooth and very much delivering the moves. Now, this is the critical section in the kayaks. We saw quite a few mistakes, and so important to stay ahead of the game 18, 19, 20 to get tight into the upstream 21.
Anna seems really focused on her way, and this bottom part is so smooth.
Nicely done, 20 to 21. Ana Shatila is definitely and importantly keeping it clean. Now, 22-23. It looks easy from this camera angle, but it's quite deceptive, it's hard.
Yeah, also K1 men, but also K1 women had a really big problems in this combinations gate.
So Ana Shatila, Brazil, finished the gate. She is clean, no penalties to add to her time. Then through this long sprint finish, and she sets the time to beat 1:18.80. And well, we'll have to find out whether that's enough to make it into the top 10 and progress to that final. The final later on this morning, 11:30 Central European time. You can follow it live at Planet Canoe. Lena Tunissen next for the Netherlands, and it's interesting, this gate 5 to 6, the biggest risk is touching gate 6 on your way into 5.
I think Lena touch number 6 because she has 50 on number 5.
That's a good spot there, Sona. So if you're not quite clear of the rules, then it's called a pre-touch or a pre-negotiation. Then if you negotiate the gates out of number order, then you incur a 50-second penalty on the one on the highest number. And it looks like Lena has fallen foul of that rule. And a 50-second penalty in canoe slalom at this stage in the competition on single runs, it's game over.
Yeah, she decided to go number 12 to go straight. But I think we will see many girls do a spin there.
Yeah, that's a tricky little move. It's important to stay in the flow, isn't it? And it's easy to pick up a penalty on gate 13 if you do it too straight.
Yes, or maybe just like stuck in the eddy because you need to be really on one position where to turn, and it's quite hard with the C1.
So here, Lena Tunissen, she may not know she's got a 50-second penalty. She's certainly still delivering a tidy run here. A little bit low on 21, but she did the technical bit on 19 to 20 very well indeed. Netherlands not known for their white water, a very flat country, but you know what, with Lena and Martina Wegman, really a few names that are really making a name and starting to raise the profile of the sport in the Netherlands. So Lena Tunissen not going to progress into the finals today. That mistake on gate 5 and 6, the pre-touch at the top, it means that she's a total of 180. It's been removed. Just looking at it now, the penalty has been removed. So it is positive news for Lena, 1:30.52. So the time is probably a little bit distant from that cut-off for the final. But the pre-touch, obviously, they've looked at it on the video, and her head obviously hadn't gone through the gate 6 before doing gate 5. But let's focus next on Alja Kozorog of Slovenia on course.
She made the same mistake as the girls before her, but I think that if you go too fast to that roll, you just miss that because it might open and you just jump over that roll. So this happened to all of the 3 girls, and then they had a problem there.
It's a difficult move, that run into gate 5. The water's not totally consistent, is it? We saw that with the kayaks. Sometimes the athletes relying on something that wasn't there.
Yes. You can go fast, but you also don't want to go slow, so it's really hard, I think.
Well, Alja Kozorog still 3.6 down on race leader Anna Shatila in the early stages of this women's canoe semi-final here in Pau. But again, another clean run coming together as she comes down towards this double upstream, gate 24 and 25. And this is where the physical demands are really kicking in. How does it feel, that sprint, even after you've done this double upstream? You've still got quite a hard, long sprint.
Yeah, usually also the C1 girls have time under 110 seconds, but now it's always 10 more seconds, so it's quite really physical. And after really physical course, you need to still do a big sprint, so it's really hard.
Well, into second place for Alja Kozorog of Slovenia, 125.32. So 2 clean runs leading the way as we watch Elena Marks now on course for Switzerland. Has picked up a 2-second penalty on gate 6, and we'll get an early indication of how she compares to race leader Anna Shatila very shortly indeed. And she's in touch on the top section.
Yeah, her time is faster, but she has a touch. But she seems really calm, so let's see what she can do at the bottom part.
She was 23rd at the World Championships just 4 weeks ago in Augsburg, Germany. 16th earlier on in the European Championships in your home country, Sona, in Liptovský Mikuláš. And So yet to make a final this year, but this the second part of the international season for 2022, and some people really just benefit from the break, come back refreshed and attack. And apart from those penalties, this is a good run.
Yeah, we didn't see so many big mistakes with the C1 girls because it's hardcore, so I expect that it might happen, but all of the girls are doing really good job.
So nicely through 22 and 23, has to duck off the pole, but no problems there from a penalty perspective. In and out nicely on 24. Now one more gate to go. She switches the blade, and still looks like she's got some energy in those arms.
She did also a really nice run in Extreme yesterday, so she had one more race to go today.
So into third place for Elena Marks of Switzerland. And well, still Anna Satila, the early leader for Brazil. As we watch now, Ellis Miller for Great Britain. Goes a little bit vertical on the top of the course, and it looks like she's missed gate 4. I don't think there's any way back for that.
No, you can't.
That's unfortunate for the young British athlete there. It looked like she just put the tail down, and I didn't even know it was that deep to be able to do that.
She put her boat really on the side, so then she had a problem to control it. And that's why she made a mistake there.
She finished 9th at the Under-23 Worlds in Ivrea in Italy, which was about, well, a couple of months ago, in the middle of July. And now, well, she's still good, showing her experience. She's not given up. She knows she's got a 50-second penalty, but great experience here at the World Cup.
Maybe it's her first World Cup, I think so.
I think she has had World Cups before, but you're right, in a lot of the teams you get the established senior boats, and it's very hard to get into the team and get those opportunities, so when they come about you've got to make the most of it.
Yes.
And I guess, you know, the Slovak team is very similar in the canoe, men's canoe particularly, isn't it? The established seniors, and hard to get in there and make your mark.
Yeah, we have 4 really good paddlers, so it's quite impossible to get to the team for the young paddlers, but we will see. Maybe it will change.
I think Ellis Miller will be racing next weekend in Laseo at the final World Cup of the season. Double points race there. Again, you can follow all the action live here at Planet Canoe. So Ellis Miller paddles it out, and it will be into 5th place. She crosses the line there, 183.73. Disappointment. There was no way back for that little mistake on gate 4, but harshly punished by a 50-second penalty. That is, well, our sport, isn't it? It's cruel at times. Let's look at Victoria Urs of Ukraine, lying 7th in the overall World Cup standings, and has had a great season this year.
Oh, she cannot.
She lost her T-piece,
yes.
didn't she? And just had no way of stopping the boat. But, well, that didn't cost her too much time. 1.4 down on the top split, and you would expect her to be competitive in and around that time set by Anna Satila.
She spent here a really long time because she couldn't go home after the winter preparation in La Reunion, so she went straight here and stay here. So the home club give her time to train, and they really helped her with the traveling, and so it's really nice that we have still nice people in this sport which would like to help athletes, and it's good to see.
It is indeed, and Victoria has had a good season in the canoe and the kayak, hasn't she?
Yes, she made a lot of finals this year. Definitely she is one of the best paddlers for now.
And in this canoe competition, she's finished 22nd, 15th, and then 4th at the first 3 World Cups of the season. So another final will be very helpful to move her up the order in the World Cup standings. And, well, apart from that touch now on 23, there There's a review on 24 as well, but at the moment no penalty showing. Then Victoria Us now stops the clock, 1:25.42 and into third place. So still just pending the review of that penalty on, well, not penalty, but of the gate 24 to see if there is a penalty. So Klaudia Smolinska now for Poland is on course, and another example of getting very close to gate 6 on the way to gate 5.
Yes, all of the girls have problems so far there.
But she has picked up a 2-second penalty on gate 3, so easy to just get focused, particularly maybe on that first move, gate 5.
Oh, but she missed that.
Yeah, she has. She's missed gate 10, so she hasn't got a whole head between the poles. She's going back for it, so that will cancel out the penalty. But it's a big time loss. That's probably 5 or 6 seconds.
Yes, her... But Claudia is a really good peddler, especially in K1.
That's right, she's a World Cup winner in the kayak category. And well, in the canoe, she's had a mixed season in this World Cup, 29th. Then she was 6th on a home course in Krakow, made the final there, then 25th in Tartzen, and then the World Championships, just outside the final in 14th place in Augsburg.
She's a little bit more focusing for K1 than for C1, but she can still put down a really good run in C1 and have good result.
Oh, she's late to 23. And the curse of gate 23 strikes again. It caught some significant names out yesterday. And another loop back for Claudia, so she manages to cancel out any 50-second penalty. But that deficit of 15 seconds now extended further. So it's not going to be a final today for Klaudia Smolinska of Poland. She paddles out the run, and it is still Anna Satila leading for Brazil, 1:18.80. Alia Kozorog of Slovenia in second. Elena Marks of Switzerland in third. Swiss had a good day yesterday, 2 boats in the men's kayak final. Not sure when we last were able to say that.
It will be really good to see Anna again in the final, because her season so far was not as she would like to have, but she's still one of the best paddlers in this category. So I think it might be enough for the final.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it was a really solid run. It's clean, but already problems at the top for our next competitor, and that is Clara Olazabal of Spain. The first of our Spanish athletes has picked up a 50-second penalty on gate 5. So that move again, the pre-touch, negotiating gate 6 before gate 5 has caused problems, and another 50-second penalty there. So Clara comes down the course. She's a multiple finalist at this World Cup level. Her last final was the last World Cup 3 in Tartzen, Slovenia. And, well, it's a disappointment about the top, because she's delivering this bottom section very well indeed.
Yeah, Clara, this is also her second home course, because she's spending here a lot of time, so I think she would like to go straight at gate number 12. But I think it's really hard to go straight, so maybe it's better to do spin, which is safe, and spending there 1 more second, to go straight, and let's see what can happen.
So paddling out her run now, Clara Olazabal of Spain stops the clock, 2:31.02. Also picking up a 50-second penalty on the upstream gate 9. And disappointment there, as we see again the same thing happening. We don't see the details. We've only joined Leah Novak as she negotiates gate 6, but that was on the way to gate 5. So unfortunately, you could see her body language said, "Oh no, I know what I've done." And a 50-second penalty incurred on gate 5, because she's gone through gate 6 before negotiating gate 5. I suspect the word will be going up the river, won't it? There'll be those people still finishing their warm-up and doing their final preparations. I'm sure their coaches will be going up to give them some last-minute information. Is that what would happen?
Yeah, for me, yes, because when I, for example, yesterday in the extreme, I knew my team colleague, she made like 50 seconds penalty because she touched the gate with her hand. So my dad just came to me and told me that this happened, so all I need to do is first gate and I should be in. But not many girls like it to know what is happening with the others, so I think it's really individual.
It's interesting, isn't it? You've got to be able to cope with that last-minute information, and sometimes a bit of vagueness. It's like it's changed, but I'm not quite sure how.
Yes.
Well, Novak has again put in a really solid run, but that mistake at the top of the course is meaning that there is no place in the final on this occasion here in Pau. And into 7th place, total time 166.15. Well, here's a name to watch, the reigning World Cup champion. She won the race here in Pau 12 months ago, where she won a titanic battle with Jessica Fox of Australia and took that World Cup title for the season, and no problems there on gate 5. Teresa Fiserova for the Czech Republic is on course.
She had medal yesterday, so I think she told me that she was already so happy about the K1 medal, but she's still a little bit more focusing for C1, and let's see what she can do.
She's had a great debut season in the kayak, hasn't she? She's been threatening it at under 23 level, but this is the first year that she's actually been in the senior team and able to do all the World Cups and the World Championships in the kayak.
Yeah, she has such a big powers, and which she can use in K1 but also in C1, and definitely one of the best paddlers to watch.
Well, she's 2.5 seconds down on Satila of Brazil on the top section. I think that will be closed down a little bit as we come to the second split. We won't have long to wait for that, because through 18, this gate, we get the second split, and she has closed the gap. 0.81 now, the deficit, and very much in control as she comes down through gate 20. Beautifully done, and she's going to be super tight into 21. Surely this is going to challenge the race lead.
Yeah, definitely one of the best runs to watch so far.
Switches the blade nicely through 22 to 23. 2 gates to go. Teresa Fiserova, the reigning World Cup champion, is on course. She's lying second in the standings after 3 races, so still very much in the mix to defend her title as she now digs deep and sprints to the finish. And it's going to be close, but I think it's just out inside 118.25. And Teresa Fiserova takes the race lead and surely will be into the final.
Yeah, I think so. But also Anna Satila, she's just half a second behind Teresa, so...
Well, on course now, Elena Borghi of Italy on course. And Elena is the under-23 world champion for this season. So hitting form in Ivrea just a couple of months ago. Now what can she do here in Pau?
Really close to the gate. She just doesn't want to touch it, but she's really good on the top part.
Wow, 2.5 seconds up. So she has found some time. Now what can she do on this? She goes for the spin, 12 to 13. She gets the bows down. She's running the boat very nicely.
Yeah, she can push her boat really nicely to go straight, and she's really powerful and really good paddler.
So now approaching the second split through gate 17. Now the second split on gate 18 tells us she's still up by quite a margin, 2.7 seconds up on Teresa Fiserova of the Czech Republic. And again, nicely through the women's canoe athletes, really doing this move very nicely. It's quite a technical move and exceptional standards.
Yeah, it's quite easy to stuck in that roll, so you need to jump a little bit lower, but not too low, because then you will just go down. So, but really good run for Elena.
So last gate, up the gate 25. She's now got to dig deep. 1:18.25 is the time to beat. She's looking like she's going to challenge that, and maybe challenge that by a margin. But she's just been awarded a late 2-second penalty, so a great run, and into third place for Elena Borghi of Italy. She picked up a 2-second penalty. There was a review, that was on gate 9, but good job there for the young Italian, the under-23 world champion of 2022. So on course now, Victoria Wolfhard of Austria coming down, looking like she's found the rhythm on the top part of the course.
Yes, she also did really nicely gate combination 4 and 5.
Well, Victoria has had a mixed season, but look at that, 3.1 seconds up on race leader Fisarova of the Czech Republic. She's yet to make a final this season, which is unusual for her, but not great on the spin. She's lost time and now adds a 2-second penalty on gate 11 and gate 12.
Maybe if she can do still the bottom part quite good, she can still a little bit make it, but we will see what Will and all the other girls do there.
Yeah, well, she certainly had the pace. If she can make sure that she's got another penalty there on gate 17. So 10.75, she had the advantage of 3 seconds, but somewhere 13 seconds has gone adrift in the middle section. So can't afford any more mistakes as she gets into the upstream 21. Victoria struggled with injury over the last few seasons. It's great to see. I think she's back in terms of injury-free, but she's not discovered the form that she had before that. Her results so far this season, 18th, 14th and 14th in the World Cup, and then 22nd at the World Championships in Augsburg a month ago. So she'll stop the clock, but that time lost in the middle and that loss to the rhythm of her run, and only 8th place. That's unlikely to stand up to those still to come for a place in the top 10 and into the final. Well, Marta Bertoncelli now on course for Italy. Always a lively personality, brings energy to the room, doesn't she, when she's around, and she's certainly got energy on the course.
Yeah, really brave and strong girl.
She was 7th at the Under-23 European Championships, 9th at the Under-23 World Championships, so consistently making finals at that level, and found time again at the top over Fisarova of the Czech Republic. 2.5 seconds up. She takes the move on forwards and delivers it.
Yeah, really nice. I think many girls and also boys are focusing more for the next season, because here we don't see quite many big names, for example from the German team or even from Slovakia, because next year will be Olympic selections for many countries. So some of the athletes would like to have more rest so they can start the winter preparation.
Oh, it's low for Marta Bertoncelli in upstream 21. She still had the advantage going through gate 18. It's been trimmed, and it's been trimmed back more now. She's gone tight on 22, but she's still keeping it clean and still definitely threatening to get into the top 3. Now, it's interesting you're saying about Olympic qualification, that the World Qualification takes place at the World Championships next year, and you're right, big focus on there, and it's a long season this season, and coming in fresh and optimally prepared is going to be good. But into 4th place, so the time slips away there at the bottom for Marta Bertoncelli. Well, the first French paddler now on course. Lucy Bordeaux has problems at the top. Looks like she maybe caught the back of her boat. She was certainly very tight on the left pole of 3 and then missed gate 4 completely. So another victim of the top section.
Yeah, this is her home course, so it's always hard to have a good race on before the home crowd, because everyone is maybe expecting too much, and for the athletes it's much harder to win the race on the home course than someone else.
Yeah, and you must have found that. Slovakia hosts a lot of races on either Liptovsky or Bratislava. You had a World Championships in Bratislava last year.
Yes.
Is it that real extreme pressure? You know, how does it feel going in front of a home crowd?
I think it's maybe much harder because everyone is watching, a lot of friends and family would like to come and cheer, and you just would like to do the best what you can. But sometimes it's even harder, like somewhere else where like no one cares that much. Another 50 penalty.
Yeah, unfortunately there, Lucy Bourdou, she lost the rhythm at the top of the course, picked up that penalty, and she's been, it's so hard to come back from that, isn't it, in terms of rediscover your rhythm. But yeah, the home pressure, some people thrive on it, but you're right, it is a big challenge, and you could see that. I don't know if you watched Ricarda Funk in Augsburg, and you just, you know, the pressure must have been huge, and you could see when she won that world title, the nervous energy was released and the emotions came out. It was a magic moment, but you felt for her a little bit.
Yes, but then it's when you can do a good race, then it's much better to have a good race on the home course, because a lot of spectators are happy that the home paddler have a good result.
Well, we have another home paddler on course, and that's Marjorie Delassou from France. So she's very much an emerging paddler and talent. She's 5th at the World Championships in Bratislava, and look at that, she's up on the split. That will get the crowd here in Pau animated as she comes in towards the main area of the spectators just after the bridge.
She's still the fastest one on the first split time, even with the touch, but definitely one of my best paddler to watch, because she's really powerful, and with each stroke she's going just better and better.
She's really found the rhythm now. She's got the pace on the boat. She was 4th at the Olympic Games last year in Tokyo. 2 World Cups down. She hasn't done all 3, and both of them she has made the final. So Marjorie Delassou really looking tidy here, just respecting this move on 22, 23. And although she's got that 2-second penalty on gate 3, she is going to challenge the race lead, I'm sure, here. She was up on the first split, up on the second split, and now she digs in deep. 1:18.25, the current benchmark. She's going to be well inside that. She crosses the line and is into first place. 1.62 the advantage, and Marjorie Delassou of France surely is in the final.
Yeah. She seems really satisfied in the finish line.
So we're at the halfway point in this women's canoe semi-final here. We're live from Pau in the south of France, and we're getting into the final 15 boats in this women's canoe competition. The fastest from the heats, some big names racing, including the likes of Andrea Herzog, who's just taken her 2nd world title. We've got Jessica Fox, and well, lots of other names. Mallory Franklin, who won her world title here. But on course now, it is Martina Satkova of the Czech Republic. And, well, she's in touch on the top section. She has picked up a 2-second penalty on gate 3. And I wonder whether there's more touches on gate 3, whether that's a bit of a response to making sure that they're ahead of the game to get into the upstream gate 5 and avoid that 50-second penalty on the pre-touch on 6.
Yes, there is really fast water, and girls just want to make everything on time, but they are more focusing on the gate combination 4, 5, and 6, so maybe a little bit out of concentration, and you can easily touch the first 3 gates.
Well, Martina has settled the deficit there, 4.26 the deficit, and a solid run coming together. Of course, she finished, well, she's standing 4th in the overall World Cup standings. She took a 3rd place and a 3rd place in the first 2 World Cups of the season. So really good start to her World Cup campaign. Then that was slightly blemished by Tartson, where she finished 29th. So a good result here will get her right back up the order and into 5th place. So 121.29. It's a good run. She's left herself exposed, hasn't she? For still 14 boats to go. And on course now, Andrea Herzog of Germany, 2-time world champion, and of course Olympic medalist as well in Tokyo last year. Took the bronze medal when the C1 women's event made its debut in Tokyo.
In the gate combination 4-5, she did, on the other hand, like all of the other girls before her. All of the girls were switching there, but she was the first one did it on the right hand, which is really risky, but she still make it really nicely.
She's looking very smooth, very clinical as she comes down into the final section of the course, under the bridge. And this is where most of the spectators are here in Pau. The French team winning a bronze medal yesterday in the men's kayak with Boris Neveu. But now, what can Germany do here? Andrea Herzog, well, she's picked up a 2-second penalty, and she's still in touch, but she's, at the moment, looks like she's looking for a place in the top 3 rather than to take the new race lead.
She seems that she's not pedaling really hard, like for example when you compare her and Marjorie de la Sousse, but she's really smooth and her boat is just going straight without any problems.
Yeah, she's certainly deceptive, isn't she? And we haven't seen her race that much this season, but obviously, you know, she won the world title a month ago for the 2nd time, and into 5th place. So it's a good run. In fact, it is the fastest run that we've seen yet, but 4 seconds in penalties just leaves her a little bit nervous as to whether she's done enough to make the cut. 5th place for the world champion, Herzog of Germany, as we watch now Eva-Alina Hočevar for Slovenia coming down.
Yesterday she made the final in K1 Woman and she was really happy about it, because this season is for her really frustrating. She's always 4th or 11th, which is so annoying. But then she won the extreme title on the Europeans under 23 couple weeks ago, so she was so happy about it, and also about her yesterday race.
Yeah, and I guess, yeah, that story, I mean, she's 12th at the World Championships, so she just missed the final there. And you're right, both under 23 races, I think she was 11th.
She was 11th, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully, well, she's doing enough at the moment. 1.43 down on the top split from race leader Marjorie de la Sousse of France. Top 3 at the moment. De la Sousse, then Fisarova and Shatila. And it's not long now before we start to confirm our finalists, because we've only got 13 boats still to finish in this competition. And of course, the top 10 in the semi-final will go into the final. You can follow that live at Planet Canoe here today, 11:30 Central European time. So the deficit has grown a little bit for Eva-Alina, but she's good through 22 and 23. She's working really hard as she comes into this double upstream at the bottom. So it's a
quite good run for her. So let's see, it will be enough for the final, but the second split time she's just in touch, so
She's digging in deep. Now she crosses the line and into 6th place. So she'll have to wait and see. There's a big cluster of people around about 120, and I think that's going to be where the line is drawn. But the question is, which side of the line do you end up as we watch Mallory Franklin now, the Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo last year. She's a world champion in this event in 2017 on this course. So didn't have a great day in the kayak yesterday, but no, she's gone in above gate 9, but well, she's responded very quickly there, and she'll have lost some time, but I think it's not all over.
Yes, she's just 2.4 seconds down, but still the bottom part is where you can actually make the time, as she's doing right now. So
well, she's had a good season, and she is at the moment leading the World Cup standings. She has had a 10th at the start, but then 2 wins. A win in Krakow, then a win in Tarzen. So the job now on this run, particularly with that mistake, is just to get through into the top 10 and be able to go and get some big points in the final. Good little pivot there, coming down. This is the critical move. A little bit low. I think she's going to be into 21. She's just stretching it out, but she is in touch. But critically, she's got to get the right side of that cluster of people. She really needs to get inside the top 5. Otherwise, she's relying on others to make a mistake in order to make that final. So one more gate to go, gate 25 on this long physical course here in Pau. Now she has to dig deep. She's going to be outside the race lead time from that mistake on gate 9. And well, the World Cup leader stops the clock in 6th place, 120.43, and that is going to be a long wait. Here it is. That's the mistake. She goes in above gate 9. There's Ricardo Funk reacting to that as she watches that on the screen as well. Well, Mallory Franklin's going to have a stressful few minutes.
yes, this is the younger sister of Satkova family.
Yeah, Gabriela Satkova on course now, who's had a great season. So 7th at the Euros, 7th at the Worlds, and she's the under-23 European champion of 2022. Took a silver in the under-23 Worlds, so she's up on the top split as well.
It will be really fun to watch their Olympic qualification, because all of the 3 girls which are now in team are such a good paddlers, which actually can make the medal even on the World Cup. So it will be really fun which one of them will be the best one next season.
Yeah, not just competition within your teammates, but within your family as well. That must make an atmosphere over the breakfast table in the morning.
Yes.
So a little mistake she made on gate 16. She did a bit like Mallory Franklin. She went in above the upstream, but she managed to loop round, minimising the time loss. And at the moment, she is level with the race leader, Marjorie Delassou of France. So Delassou surely is confirmed into the final. And now let's see whether Gabriela Satkova can slot into the top 3.
For the winter preparations, she started also with the K1 sessions, and she is in team also in K1, but under 23.
Well, look at that. We have a new race leader, and that was with a mistake on gate 16. And, well, justifiably smiling there. Gabriela Satkova takes the race lead for the Czech Republic ahead of Marjorie Delassou of France, Teresa Vissarova. We're now into the final 10 competitors in this women's canoe semi-final here. So we start to confirm who will make the World Cup final here later on today. And next on course, Rohan of France, heading down this 25 gate course. Not seen much of her on the World Cup circuit this year, just done the one race in Krakow, finishing 20th there. But you'd expect her to go well on this familiar course.
Yeah, she's for the first time in senior team, so it's quite hard to change your star from the junior age to senior level. So I think this is what she's doing right now, but she's doing a really good job.
She's picked up a 2-second penalty up at the top of the course in gate 10. But 5.2, that's well, it's probably the wrong side of the cluster at the moment to make it into the final. So it is all about trying to apply that knowledge, and she has. She's trimmed her deficit. That's exactly what is needed if she wants to make it through into the final. The French certainly, I think, have one finalist. Marjorie Delassoux has done enough. And well, they've won a few more. It looks already like the Lucy Bordeaux, she picked up a 50-second penalty, so she won't make the final. All hopes of a second finalist rest on the shoulders of this young athlete. Rohan goes into the final upstream gate.
After her, we will know who will be in the first one, who will be the first one in the final.
Yeah, so the already outside of the race lead time. So as you say, it is Gabriela Satkova who is confirmed as our first finalist for the Czech Republic.
They gave her another touch to Roisin Lauren, so she is now on the 10th position.
Ah, good spot. Yeah, unfortunately, that will make it very hard to come back from there as we watch Miran Lazcano for Spain now, setting off on her run, navigating through 6, 7, 8. She's a European champion from 2021. And, very capable. When she finds the rhythm, she runs the boat very nicely. But at 10, gate 10 there, a 2-second penalty, 6.81. It's not been a great top section.
Yes, but Gabriela Satkova, her top section was absolutely perfect. So she can, and then she had a problem at the middle part. So if Miran can do this part, she might still get some better time.
That's a good point. So Sona Stanovska for the Slovakian team alongside me, Andy Maddock, as we get into the sharp end of this women's canoe semi-final. What a recovery there on that positioning. She was nowhere in gate 18, but she kept her cool, and it looks like, well, she's going to be low into 21, but it could have been much worse.
Yeah. This doesn't seem really good for her to be in final.
No, the time is slipping away, already 6 seconds down, and further time lost, particularly in dropping low on 21. So I guess what's bad news for her will be good news for the French team. Marjorie Delassoux, sitting in second place at the moment for the French team, will be confirmed as our next qualifier. So Miran Lazcano of Spain stops the clock, and outside the final in 13th place. And as I say, the top three, Satkova leads for the Czech Republic, Delassoux for France, both of them into the final. Then Fisarova, Satila, third and fourth at the moment, waiting to see if they've done enough as we watch Noemi Fox of Australia, the younger sister of Jessica Fox, who's still to come in this semi-final, who has had some strong performances in the canoe and the kayak this season.
Yeah, I think for her it's really hard because everyone is of course comparing her and Jess, but she is really good paddler and she's almost all the time in the final and chasing the medal. So definitely one of the best paddlers here in this sport.
She quietly gets on with the job, doesn't she? She was 8th at the World Championships in Augsburg, so very capable of making it to the final. Unfortunately, Leah just takes a touch with the bow of her boat on gate 14, and that will have just extended the deficit to around about 4 seconds as she comes down through 17 and 18. We'll find out what that deficit is. It is around 4 seconds, so a bit of work to do on the bottom of the course, but Noemi very calm and collected. She's very precise in her paddling.
really nice, this move. It still might be enough to be in final.
So switches round 22, 23. Deceptively difficult, that offset move. And well, she makes it look pretty easy. She comes into the final double upstream gate. So the time to beat for automatic qualification is 1:18.25. I think she's going to be outside of that, but she does look like she's going to put herself in with a fighting chance of a place in the final. But no, it's that long sprint, isn't it, at the end? It's deceptive. 12th place for Noemi Fox, and no final on this occasion. So that's good news for Teresa Fisarova, the defending World Cup champion, the winner of this World Cup race last year. Teresa, you're in the final.
So another young paddler here, but she has so far so good season. She was many times in the final.
You're right, for Spain, Ainhoa Lamero sets off, and well, it looks like she's gone around the bottom of gate 10. She has to loop back round, but no penalties picked up there, but you can see pays at a bit of a price on the clock. 4 seconds a deficit on the top section, and quite hard to make up that kind of time.
Yes, but still Satkova, which is first one, so we count the time with her name. She made on this part her little mistake, so it's still quite okay with the time.
Well, what we're watching here as we look to determine who qualifies through into the final is a bit of a battle. We know the top 3 are qualified through, including the World Cup overall winner from last year, Fisarova, but we've got the reigning world champion Andrea Herzog, we've got the reigning World Cup leader Mallory Franklin sitting in 6th and 7th place, with still a number of boats to go. I think it's actually 6 boats to finish, so it's going to be tight, and those could be the big stories of this semi-final.
Yes, but a lot of young paddlers made really good qualifications, so they are not that much experienced as, for example, Mallory, so it still might be a chance for Mallory to be in the final.
Well, I know Lamero for Spain qualifies in 10th place, so it's not going to be enough, I suspect, when you look at the names of those people to go. Just as you say, Sona, it's tricky, but Herzog and Franklin get to breathe again as they watch Emanuela Lukner over on course for Slovakia, and only one World Cup race this year, but made the final in that race.
Yeah, I think it was in Tatsan, right?
Yes. Finished 9th in that event, and 23rd at the World Championships, lying 17th overall in the standings for the World Cup after 3 races.
She's a little bit behind, but she also had a touch, so now she needs to go a little bit more risky if she would like to have a good result.
Well, it's so important to find the rhythm on the top section as you come down into this more technical, more powerful section of the course. Really, from here on in, the water very powerful indeed and pretty continuous. Very hard, once you've made a little line error, to have any kind of time to correct it before you get towards the next gate.
But she is not doing any big mistakes, so a little bit not so smooth here, but still quite okay run, I think so.
Yeah, it's solid, nearly 6 seconds of deficit, and it's all going to be down to whether she's still got the physical reserves in those arms to be able to just find some time in the last few gates, because you just need to find a second or so and you can put yourself in the mix for a place in the final. The cut-off time for automatic qualification is already passed, and 14th place for Emanuela Luknerova of Slovakia, and disappointment on this occasion. So that's good news though for Elena Borghi of Italy, who joins Anna Shatila, Teresa Fisarova, Marjorie Delassou and Gabriela Satkova in the final. 5 to go. And on course is Elena Lilik, the world champion of 2021, who, well, you can expect big things.
Yeah, she's in the same training group as Ricarda Fang, so for K1, but also for C1, it helps her a lot. I spoke to her sister, which also was here for the K1, that they changed their training group, because before it was Ricarda with the K1 men and for example with Noah Hege and with Elena Lily, but now they made a big change that it's just girls and boys, so it's two groups. So
yeah, it's interesting when you compare how all the different coaching groups work on the different teams, and it almost goes through little phases and trends, but she's in touch. Look at that, she's as expected, just a half a second down on race leader Gabriela Šatkova of the Czech Republic, and the 2021 world champion is very much in the mix for an automatic place into the final.
But for example, in K1 category, they had a problem in gate combination 22-23, but all of the C1 girls are doing really good without any mistakes, but it's more complicated situation in gate 4 and 5 for the C1s.
Yeah, that's a really good observation, isn't it? Yeah, it's exactly the same course, but you're right, yeah. It's a completely different challenge. But into third place for Elena Lilik of Germany, and importantly, into the final. So Andrea Herzog is the one sitting on the bubble, waiting to see if she's done enough, as we watch Monica Doria Villarubla on course for Andorra. She's picked up a 2-second penalty on the top of the course. Again, we've not seen too much of Monica Doria in the World Cup. She finished 13th in the only World Cup she's done so far. That was the Krakow World Cup. So no final so far this season. And 26th, a disappointing result at the World Championship. She was 11th in Tokyo last year, and she is very capable of putting in a very strong performance in this World Cup event. Particularly, it's just over the mountains from her home, so she'll be very familiar with this site.
She already picked up 4 seconds of penalties, which is quite hard start for the rest of the course. So she is also a little bit late on this part.
Well, 5.86 now, so she has stabilised that deficit. It's not a lot different to what it was on the top section, but it's still a little bit of a lot to ask if she's going to make it to the final. She's working hard to get into 21. Now, the time is running out in terms of opportunities to find any time. This sprint at the bottom, physical demands of this double upstream gate 24 and 25. Monica really looks like she has found the rhythm in the boat now, but it's a little bit too little too late. It's going to be just outside the final, I suspect. She sprints to the finish and will stop the clock in 15th place. So, well, Germany's Andrea Herzog can breathe again. You're in the final, and the reigning world champion will be in the final, as we watch Jessica Fox of Australia on course, who has made this event her own. She's the Olympic champion from Tokyo. She's a 4-time world champion in this event. But this season for her in the canoe, it's been so contrasting. She's won 4 World Cups in the kayak, consecutive World Cups, but she's lying in 9th place in the World Cup standings after 3 races. Just hasn't found the consistency when it matters, but I suspect it's going to change.
I saw that she changed her boat a lot of times for the seasons, because again now she has a new boat. She used to pedal on some black with a red colors, but now whole black boat. So maybe she's would like to find which boat make the best choice for her.
Well, she certainly looks like she's got the pace. She has picked up that 2-second penalty on gate 15, but she's absorbed most of it, and certainly looking like she's doing enough to automatically qualify into the final. And reminder, there's only 3 to finish, including Jessica, in this women's canoe semi-final. Then we'll be up with the men's canoe semi-finals here in Pau. 2 gates to go now for Jessica. The time to beat is 1:20.43. That is the time to beat for automatic qualification. I'm sure Jess will have her eyes set on trying to qualify through in the top spot. She's going to be outside of that, but she is going to be inside the automatic qualification into 4th place. And, well, not the best run for Jessica Fox, but comfortably into the final. It's going to be a good final. All the big names are making it in at the moment. Great Britain's Mallory Franklin sitting on the bubble, and now on course, Kimberly Woods of Great Britain. So I guess the British know they've got a finalist, it's just they don't know who.
Yeah, it might be a big fight between Kimberly and Mallory, because you can't say which one is better. On each race, one of the girls make big mistake and the other is going really good. So it's really fun to watch these 2 girls.
Well, Kimberly in touch on the top split. She's had a 6th place in the first World Cup, then a 24th and then a 6th. So 2 finals from the 3 World Cup races. She finished 4th at the World Championships, just outside the medal. And she has had a much better season in the canoe. She's a 2-time European champion. Now into gate 16, and we'll get a second indication of her split time as she goes through gate 18. So still down, but she has closed that deficit, just under a second down on race leader Gabriela Satkova of the Czech Republic, and very good on 20. Keeps the boat speed on through 21.
Nicely done. Also this part.
And a late penalty on 2 late penalties.
Wow.
Suddenly, Kimberly Woods goes from being comfortably into the final to being on her back foot. And well, I wondered if they would look at gate 24. They are, to see whether her whole head. So the bottom of the course has stung Kimberly Woods. And that means it is only 16th place for Kimberly, with those 2 touches proving very costly indeed. Well, unfortunate there, but that's good news for Mallory Franklin of Great Britain. She will be into the final. So 1 boat to go.
She was really close to the gate number 6.
And this is the young sensation from Slovakia, Zuzana Pankova, on course, who, well, she won the heats. And we haven't seen much of her, but the first World Cup of the season, she finished 4th.
Yeah, she was focusing more for IBRA Junior and Under-23 Worlds, because it's her last year of junior, so she wanted to have a good result there.
And she did.
Yeah.
She got the World Championship title, didn't she, in the Junior Worlds? Well, it's now a case of, can she repeat that performance from the heats? And she probably has little expectation. It's sometimes some of these young boats, they benefit from the fact that they've got nothing to lose, everything to gain, but then you do a good result and suddenly the expectation comes on. But it doesn't seem to be affecting her at the moment.
But she has so much power which she can use, and that's why she is so strong and really powerful.
Well, still in touch at the second split, and Zuzana Pankova of Slovakia looking comfortable, but we saw that through with Kimberly Woods, but it can still all go wrong. Now she has picked up a penalty on 23, but I suspect as long as she doesn't have any late dramas, she can absorb that still make it in. Essentially, it's Eva Alina Hocevar at the moment, 1:20.99. That's the time that Zuzana Pankova has to beat, and it's just inside. She takes 9th place, and that was tight. But well done, Zuzana. You are into the final. Look at the relief on her face.
Yeah, but Eva Alina is again 11th. That's... Wow, that's insane.
Ouch, that hurts, doesn't it? It starts to become a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. But it is Gabriela Satkova for the Czech Republic, who is the winner of the women's canoe semi-final here at Po. She'll go off last in the final. Marjorie Delassou second, Elena Lilik third, Jessica Fox fourth, Teresa Fisareva. What a lineup of names. It's gonna be a tight final.
Such an amazing final, I think so. Just only strong names, so...
So we've got all 3 Olympic medalists from Tokyo. We've got, how many world champions? Franklin, Herzog, Fox, Lilik, and then we've got the World Cup champion, Fisarova. We've got the Satila, yeah, it's don't go away. 11:30 Central European time, the women's canoe final, and what a lineup of names we've had. No big shock exits, and some of the big names have survived. I suppose the only real shock exit is the likes of maybe Kimberly Woods. Noemi Fox hasn't managed to reproduce some of the form she's found this season, but well, there's only so many places. Someone has to lose.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Eva Alina again, 11th place for Slovenia. So the women's canoe semi-final results are in. We know our 10 finalists, and yes, we'll be live at Planet Canoe, 11:30 Central European time today with that final. But up next will be the men's canoe semi-finals. Your reflections on that race, Sona?
Yes, it seems to be a really strong final, and this course is really amazing. So let's see who will win.
Any predictions?
I think Marjorie Delassou, maybe.
Well, I think that would be a popular win for the local crowd here. But here are the results. Confirmation of the 10 finalists. It will go off in reverse order in the final later on this morning. And it is Satkova who takes the honours in the semi-final. She goes off last, but look at the names. Delassou, Lilik, Fox, Fisarova, Satila, Burgi, Herzog, Pankova and Franklin. Missing out, then, well, we've got a few big names. Monica Doria Villarubla, Kimberly Woods, Claudia Zvolinska, and then, of course, only one French boat in that 10-boat final. That's a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, but no Spanish boat in a final, which is also a big surprise.
Well, join us for that women's canoe final, 11:30 Central European time. Sona will be back for that final, but thanks for joining me for the semi-finals, and we'll see you later.
Thank you.
So we're straight into the men's canoe semi-finals here in Po. Again, it's the fastest 30 boats from the heats on Friday. We'll be racing it out for the honours. 10 places available in the men's canoe final. And we've got some big names here as we go through the start list. And we've got the likes of Mate Benes, Olympic silver medalist from Rio, Adam Burgess, fourth at the Games in Tokyo, Denis Gargaud-Chanou, who as well won pretty much everything. He's a world champion, Olympic champion, and he's on a mission to win here on his home course. But the likes of Nicolas Gestin, the young Frenchman, will have ideas as well to continue his rich vein of form through the World Cup season. But of course, we have the Olympic champion, Benjamin Sabsek, and Luka Bosic, who are jointly tied at the top of the World Cup standings after 3 races. So the world champion, Sidiris Tassiadis of Germany, choosing to sit it out, and he's not here in the race at Po. So he was crowned world champion in the Augsburg World Championships a month ago. So 30 boats are racing it out for 10 places in the final. And delighted to welcome into the booth Brodie Crawford for the Australian team. And well, a very warm welcome. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. Very excited to see the semi-final today. Lots of big hitters, and we're underway.
We are indeed, and the first of our competitors, Benjamin Kies of Germany, who's a Junior World Championship finalist from 2021.
Yeah, relatively new face on the senior circuit, I believe. I haven't seen him around. This might even be his debut, I think, possibly World Cup.
I think he did Tartan. I think that was his debut.
Okay.
But yeah, he finished 24th in Tartan, and but you're right, it is an opportunity to get new experience.
Yeah, I wasn't in Tartan, so there you are. Well, there you go. I'm sure he'll be looking to build on that 24th place. But yeah, great to see him here in the semi-final, his second World Cup.
So same course, 25 gates. Our course designers Irati Goikachea for Spain and Anthony Collin of Canada have set a good course here, and lots of options. And it was interesting in terms of the kayaks. They struggled the most yesterday on gate 22 and 23, but we've seen this morning the canoes have made light work of that section, but they struggled at the top on that less predictable wave and then run into gate 5.
Yeah, that 4 into 5 is hard to use. It's always changing. You're not sure what you're going to get. You have to be really ready to adapt on that move. But it's a really physical course out there. And like we always say, the bottom of the course is often where it's lost and won. And whether you've got enough energy left in your arms to push all the way to the finish, particularly in these last two upstreams, which we're watching now.
Yeah, and it's a brutal sprint finish, isn't it? It's it's almost like it seems about 8-9 seconds, but it probably seems a lot longer when you're actually sprinting.
It feels so long, like an eternity out there.
Well, Benjamin Kies of Germany sets the time. It's a clean run, 1:12.50. That's the time that everyone's chasing. Remember, 30 boats, a quality field we've got here in Pau, and only 10 can progress into the final. So Ondřej Berčič now comes into the upstream gate 5, and again he's well, he wouldn't want to have been that close to gate 6 on the run into 5.
Yeah, just not getting much off the wave. I think it's sort of seeing what the wave's doing when you get there, and possibly the athlete needs to take a little bit of speed off their boat so they're able to pick up the wave and use it a bit more.
So he's raced in all 3 World Cups so far this season. The first 3 World Cups, only one final, and that was on Tartan, the home water in Slovenia. So, well, a little bit of a spin on 12, and I suspect they'll look at that. The video review judges will just check that his head and part of the boat was inside the gate as he peeled out back into the flows from gate 12.
Yeah, interesting choice on the spin. I think the direct will be a little bit quicker. I think the top guys will be looking to go straight through that gate up there, and he's picked up an early touch on gate 2 as well. Must have been small. He'll be looking to try and chase back those 2 seconds.
Well, the top section does seem to have been quite costly, and now he's losing time again as he drops low into the upstream gate 21. Now he's certainly cutting the lines through 22 and 23, makes light work of that, and well, he's still ahead of Kies of Germany, but he's really racing those paddlers who are still to come down in this competition.
Yeah, they have taken that touch off on gate 2, so that's why we're seeing green split times now. So a solid run here from Anzi.
And yeah, at the moment he has got 3 reviews going on, and he does go into the race lead. And I should say, those reviews, no penalties at the moment. It is a clean run, but they're just checking that there are no penalties to add to that. So provisionally into the race lead, 1:08.97 for Ondřej Berčič of Slovenia, as we now go to our second of 3 Germans in this semi-final, and it's Timo Trummer on course.
Yeah, there's a young German team here at this World Cup. No Tassiadis and no Franz Anton, so it's good to see these young guys here and in the semi-final, and yeah, let's see what they can do. They're here to sort of make their marks.
Well, it looks like he set off with really good pace, and he's very good on the upstream gate 9. We can expect the fastest split time yet on the top part of the course, and that is by quite a margin. 2.6 up at the top of the course, but we know you can't win the race at the top, but you certainly can lose it.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting there on the down and the eddy. It looked like he was going for the direct and then pulled out the last second, went the spin. I don't think it's cost him too much, but it'll be interesting to see this next split.
He's certainly found his rhythm. He's still got the pace. He looks like he's still got those energy reserves in the arms, and he has extended the advantage. 3.2 up now over. And Ante Berčič, just as an update, our race leader has been given a 50-second penalty on gate 9, so that was being reviewed. So actually what we're looking at in terms of split times is based on the time of our race leader Benjamin Keys of Germany. Oh, and is that a late touch? It is. Trummer of Germany picks up a 2-second penalty on gate 24, and all the hard work gets undone with just the slightest of touches as he stops the clock. 109.35. He is into the race lead, but well, he had the opportunity to really put a marker down. 107.35 the raw time. So next up on course, the first of 2 Irish paddlers in this men's canoe semi-final. Jake Cochran on course. He made the final in Prague, the first World Cup of the season. The Irish team pretty familiar with this course. This is a popular course for international paddlers to almost base as their training course. The climate year-round is pretty good if you're going to stay in Europe, and it's good just to get a competitive training group.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking nice here, nice and smooth. Looks like a little bit down on the split, but he'll know this course well, like you say. A few of the Irish, including Jake, actually live here in Pau, so yeah, he knows this course well. He'll be ready for the bottom, what it's got to give, the Kraken. Let's see what he can do on this down, up, right, up, left move.
So he picks up a touch on gate 10, which was, I didn't see it, but it's very easy. The athletes get very close to the inside pole as they try and squeeze the time out of the course. And now 3.17 seconds down, so a little bit of work to do and running out of time to find that extra magic, but that's a great move on 20.
Yeah, very nice there. Oh, I think he might have touched the up though. All that good work undone.
Confident use of the upstream edge on gate 20 and 21, but yes, it's kind of all been cancelled out. Jake Cochran looking like that penalty, as well as already the deficit, is going to be a lot to chase.
Those last 2 upstreams, they're brutal too, because they're not overly complicated, but you've got to be so good there and pull so hard, and with all that fatigue in your arms, it's brutal.
So into second place for Jake Cochran, that includes 4 seconds of penalties, so the time already starting to come down. That's a 106.39 raw time. What can we expect in terms of, let's call it a winning time in this semi-final? Are we going to get around about the 100 seconds? Are we going to go under that?
Yeah, I think around the 100. I'm not really sure. What was the women's time again? Do you remember?
106, I think. And the men's fastest in the kayaks yesterday was 96, I think.
Oh, yeah, I think they might crack the 100 if we're lucky. We'll see.
Well, that'll be to win the semi-final, and then in terms of, I think it's low 100s, isn't it, to maybe 102, 103 for a sort of cut-off for the top 10. Who knows? We'll have to find out. Stay tuned, because it's all happening here. And on course, Joris Otten of the Netherlands now on course. Yet to make a final in the 2 World Cups that he's raced at this season. So what can he do here?
Yeah, this is Joris's home course as well. He's from the Netherlands, but he moved to Pau about a year ago, I think, and he's been improving in leaps and bounds. I think he's really stoked to be out there. I think it's his first World Cup semi-final. He's made a World Champ semi-final, but I think he's really happy to be out there, and he's doing a pretty solid run, nice and clean.
Well, he finished 37th in those World Championships in Augsburg a month ago. And you're right, critically, he's clean. And plan B there on 23, but he keeps it clean, and that's probably the right decision. It's so easy to commit to the move, and still have a time loss as well as a penalty.
Yeah, just got to dig deep now, all the way to the finish.
Well, that looked pretty quick on 25. Carried some boat speed. And even on this sprint finish, you can lose time, can't you? If you get the line wrong, you get the stroke timing wrong, particularly going through that wave. It just kills your speed. You've got to re-accelerate again.
Absolutely.
So into second place for Joris Otten of the Netherlands. A clean run. 109.88. So Timo Trummer leading for Germany, Joris Otten in second, Jake Cochran in third in the early stages of this men's canoe semi-final here. We're live from Pau in the south of France. Perfect racing conditions, and it's going to be a scorcher today.
Yeah, beautiful day. We've got Luis Fernandez on the course now, and he's touched it. Oh, actually, it's not on there yet, but I think he may have touched gate one. We'll wait and see on that one. But apart from that, he's on a really nice run. Really smooth, carrying the speed. Super tight there.
Well, we can expect them to review, the judges to review gate 10, and they may even be listening, and they might yet review gate 1 for you. But he is looking like he's got the pace, and at the moment, no penalties showing, so he's certainly cutting the lines fine, but at the moment, he's on the right side of the judges.
Not bad there, very tight on the upstream, a little bit low, but I think he made the time back up by whipping that upstream. And it's so key down here to hold your body composure, use these waves. If you fall in your strokes, it's game over.
Well, he did have the advantage, but now a touch is given on gate 1, and is also given on 19 and 20. So suddenly, Luis Fernandez is up against it a little bit, and just his style, he seems very attacking, very risk-taking, and it's not working for him today.
Yeah, it's the nature of the game. He was going for it out there, and just one small mistake on the bottom, it punishes you, especially around that Kraken area. You've got to be so good.
So 6 seconds of penalty showing, and yeah, still some reviews going on 16, 18, 20, and only 5th place for Luis Fernandez. Yeah, he knows that's not going to be enough for a place in the final, but he'll be hoping next week on the home course just over the Pyrenees from here in that World Cup final. Of course, double points next weekend. Then he'll move on and focus on there. So now on course, the 3rd of our German paddlers, Leonard Truscherer, is on course, under 23 European Championship bronze medalist just a couple of weeks ago. And well, can he build on that momentum and come in here with a storming run and put the pressure on those still to come?
Yeah, absolutely. He's looking like he's building into a nice run. A little bit down on the split, but no touches. He's building into it. He's a really big, strong, long guy, so let's see if he can use all that leverage to his advantage out there.
Yeah, it's interesting, the pacing. You know, some of the best runs we saw yesterday weren't the quickest on the top. They just kind of built into it. I know Boris Neveu in the final was kind of he's almost steady Eddie on the top. That sounds a bit disrespectful because he's very fast, but you know, you just could see him as he built into the run. He got more confident, the boat was running more, and he delivered a medal-winning performance.
Yeah, it's the old story with canoe slalom. Just with that fatigue on the bottom, there's so much to lose. And if you can just have a nice, solid top, and you can often make a lot of time on the bottom.
So Leonard has picked up a penalty at the moment, just the one penalty, gate 17, a touch. There are reviews going on gate 12 and 16, but that deficit, it's unlikely he's going to go ahead of Timo Trummer, the current race leader for Germany. That time, 109.35 is the time he's chasing. He's outside of that and into 3rd place, pending the outcome of those remaining reviews. So with 7 down, 23 to go, Timo Trummer leads for Germany ahead of Jake Cochran of Ireland and Leonard Truscherer of Germany. But here's a person who, well, he needs no introduction to anyone who's a fan of the sport of canoe slalom. It is Michal Martikán of Slovakia, who is back in action, still going actually. It's fair to say, yes, we haven't seen much of him in the last few seasons, but that's more because of the caliber of the Slovak team. He's not been able to make it into the team. He was 4th in selection this year. Alexander Slavkovsky's not racing, and so Michal is 5-time Olympic medalist, 4-time world champion. He's a legend in the sport, 43 years old, and still, how good would it be to see him in the final?
Yeah, it'd be unbelievable. I think at this stage, seeing Martikán out in the water, you've got to make the most of it. It's an absolute pleasure. Arguably the GOAT of the sport, although we are in Estonga territory, so there might be some arguments there, but yeah, just an incredible paddler, and he's putting on a bit of a masterclass right now.
So he has picked up that touch on gate 10, and nearly 5 seconds down on the split time. Certainly not vintage Martikán, but you can still see he's got that skill, that feel that has made his career so successful.
Yeah, I think that what stands out about Martikán is like the efficiency that he has. Just so few strokes to get the moves done and to carry speed.
So he won his first World Championship medal in 1995, so 27 years ago, and he's still competing on the circuit now. And well, respect to the athlete. He is the most decorated male athlete in World Championship Canoe Slalom history. Stops the clock in 3rd place.
Wow.
1:10.96.
Fast bottom section.
Yeah, he found some time, didn't he? But I'm not sure it's going to be enough, unfortunately, for a final.
I think those times will start to fall now.
So now on course, Wojciech Heger of the Czech Republic goes for a place in the final. So he's a bronze medalist from the Under-23 Worlds just a few weeks ago. Silver medalist from those Under-23 Worlds in 2021. So a consistent set of performances there. 7th at the World Championships, and he made the final in the first World Cup of the season, 5th place in Prague.
Yeah, he's a really aggressive paddler. He's coming off that win at the Under-23 Euros, so he's going to have confidence. And watch how he swaps from right to left. Not many paddlers are doing that, and gives him a little bit more energy. When he's getting fatigued in one arm, he can swap the paddle to the other arm, and he's fresh again. So it's an advantage if you can do it well.
Yeah, and we've got Denis Gargaud-Chanou still to come, who's a big switcher, isn't he? And he was the fastest in the semi-final, in the heats. He'll go off last in this semi-final, and we can expect big things from him.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what he can do out here today.
So he's in touch. He is down, but he's closed the gap. 2.5 down at the top, now 1.1. And is he timing and pacing this run to perfection?
A little bit of time there on the crack end, just falling low. It's such a tough move when you're tired, but he's pushing hard to the finish. It's a solid run. I think Timo Trummer's run was surprisingly quick. They're struggling to match it. Just picking up the touch there on the second last up left.
So easily done, isn't it? You want to get the squirt, what little squirt there is from the eddy. You go in very tight, and yeah, he's paid the price with a 2-second penalty, and he will take the race lead. So he absorbs some time. So Timo Trummer obviously wasn't that quick on the bottom section.
Yeah.
And Wojciech Heger from the Czech Republic goes into 1st place, ahead of Timo Trummer of Germany. Jake Cochran still holding on to 3rd for Ireland, but still 21 boats to go. And here on course, the world champion of 2021, Václav Chalupka, is in trouble at the top.
All sorts of trouble. Really tried to finesse that move, and he was looking so good on top of the wave, but it just turned him in too early, and then there's sort of nowhere to go when that happens. Forced to do a full 360 and then back into the upstream.
So defending his world title in Augsburg, he finished 9th, so he made the final. Finished 9th, so still got it in him. Hasn't had such a good season as last year, but still lots of opportunity. But 3.39, well, considering that looked awful on running to gate 5, he's still in the mix, but it's going to be a tough ask to get into the final from there.
Yeah, he's going to need to be lightning on this bottom section if he wants to give himself a chance. He's another great paddler to watch, really smooth, really efficient, not many strokes.
So 3 Czechs in this semi-final. We've already seen leading the way Wojciech Heger. set the benchmark. We've got Chalupka here on course, and then Lucas Rohan, the Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo, will go later on in this men's canoe semi-final. 2 gates to go for Chalupka, and he's still got the rhythm. And has he found any time at the bottom? Well, he's certainly still looking for it, isn't he?
He is going for it.
Digging deep, just paddling through, crosses the line, 109.72. He does find some time into 3rd place, and well, I suspect the borderline into the final will be separated by very small margins, so what he found at the bottom may well help him, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's looking tight already. Sort of top 5 or 6, a second and a half between them all. So you've got to be really, really perfect today.
Paolo Cecon now for Italy on course. Struggling a little bit, 5 to 6. Didn't quite get the help off the wave. We've seen that so often today.
Yeah, we haven't really seen anyone nail it yet. I think there'll be, when someone does, they'll have a lot of time on the rest of the field. Oof, super tight there. That'll be interesting to see what the judges, oh, there we go.
The judges didn't like that. It's a 50-second penalty, and the reason they'll give them for that is they will have assessed that either it's the whole head wasn't in the gate line, or there wasn't any boat at the same time that the head was in. Either way, he's suddenly gone from being the fastest on the top section to being out of contention for a place in the final.
But Paolo's not going to know that he has that 50, so he's going to keep pushing, so it'll be interesting to see what time he can lay down, whether he can...
Yeah, it's a good point. So in terms of time, he's 1.14 down on the race leader, and obviously that 50-second penalty. It is being reviewed, so the video judges have a number of different camera angles, particularly actually on that gate, because I think there was quite a lot of action on that gate yesterday, and so they'll be looking at all the different camera angles to make a final decision on there, but the initial decision has gone against him, and a 50-second penalty showing. So Paolo Cecon of Italy will now paddle through the finish line and only into 9th place. So 11 boats down, 19 to go. They're the fastest 19 as we look at Caelan Bassett of Australia on course.
Here we go. Really excited to see what Caelan can do out there today. He's been proving his form throughout the season, and I think he's poised to have a really good run today.
Oh, I was going to say nicely done on 5. He got good help, but then just caught an edge and wasn't able to capitalise on that through gate 5 to 6.
Yeah, luckily everyone else is struggling there too, so not too much time lost on the rest of the field. He's just got to keep the power on. He's still clean, so building into the run, which is good.
Nicely through 10, no problems there for Caelan, and yeah, 1.71 down. But, damage limitation from that move on gate 5 to 6.
Pretty nice there, nice and smooth.
That pivot is one of those pivots that you get a feel off the boat, don't you? When you've done it well, the feedback comes straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, just getting stuck on the tail on that stopper there. The water's really sucky and just killing the speed on Caelan's boat. He really needs to push hard now to make the speed up on the bottom. There's time here on the Kraken.
So best result in the World Cup this season, 21st place. That was in the last World Cup of the season, before the break for the World Championships. That was in Tartan. And now low into 21. It's not happening today for Caelan Bassett, but it is all part of the learning journey, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Still very early in his career, and he's improving immensely. Yeah, just the classic story on staggers there, getting late on the first one and then just the domino effect. Later, and just gets tougher and tougher.
So penalties on gate 18, now another one on 24. Caelan Bassett paddling out his run for Australia, but he's going to be out of contention for a place in the final. Disappointment there, into 9th place. Total time, 1:22.88. So Well, I'm going to have to apologise to the Irish because there's 3 Irish boats in the semi-final. I said there were 2, so apologies there.
Wow.
Robert Hendrick on course now for Ireland, and still 1 to go. So setting off down this course.
He was pretty good on that cross into the upright at the top there, so this could be a fast first split.
Oh, and he's flipped it on gate 10, caught the edge. He was committing early to that upstream edge to get the bows down. He won't be penalised for that, other than quite a significant time on the clock.
Yeah, that move seems to be catching out the canoes more than the kayaks today. I think having that upstream blade for the kayaks was helping a lot there. But yeah, we've seen a lot of penalties there.
Yeah, he just committed to the edge, and yeah, like you say, didn't have a blade to respond. The white water, the athletes make it look easy. The power of this white water, there's 12 tons of water per second going down this course. It drops 5 meters from top to bottom. And the power, well, is incredible. As soon as you let the water take charge, it will do what it likes to you.
Yeah, absolutely. They're making it look easy, but it's years and years of practice. At the beginning, it's pretty much terrifying when you're out there.
Yeah, indeed. Well, on gate 18, he did wave his head at it. Robert Hendrick has been given a 50-second penalty.
Oh,
wow. It was all happened very quickly. It was hard to see in the flash of an eye, but the judge has given a 50. I'm sure it will be reviewed before it's confirmed, but that compounds his problems here as he comes down towards the finish line.
Yeah, great effort from Robert to push all the way to the finish after such a big mistake. And those rolls, they take it out of you energy-wise, so yeah, solid effort.
Yeah, disappointment on this occasion, but I'm sure we'll see him back next weekend, fighting hard. The Irish always like Sayo as well. World Cup final. Liam Jagu now, the 3rd Irish boat on the start line of this men's canoe semi-final. And he, again, another paddler who's familiar. He's based himself here. He's actually a World Cup winner here. He won the World Cup in 2020. And what can he do today?
Yeah, he's going to love having this World Cup at his, his home away from home. He knows this course really well, been here for years now. I'm sure he's going to lay down something pretty special.
Well, he's up on the top split by nearly a second and looking smooth. He was 15th at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. I know he was very disappointed with his performance in those games, and he's capable of more. And when he finds his groove, he is very quick indeed.
Yeah, it looked a bit touch and go on that stop and move there, losing the tail, but he saved it really well. I don't think he's lost much time.
So he's dropped. Now he's got a bit of a deficit, just under half a second, chasing it, but he's still on it. This is the critical move, and he's having to work hard, but he's still in the mix. But Wojciech Heger of the Czech Republic looking strong now, taking a risky line on 22 and 23.
Yeah, he's pushing it now. He knows he's got to really make some time up here on the bottom. A little bit of a review there on 22. It'll be interesting to see. This is going to be close.
So the current race lead time, 109.26. That's Wojciech Heger of the Czech Republic. It's going to be close. It is inside that, but it is provisional, subject to the review of gate 22. But well done, Liam Jagu of Ireland goes into the race lead ahead of Wojciech Heger, and he is confirmed. The review is done, no change, and Liam Jagu is our race leader as we get towards the halfway point in this men's canoe semi-final here. Perfect racing conditions here in Pau. And now that's a good move from Zach Lockard on gate 5 for the United States.
Yeah, beautifully done through the down left upright there. He's really going for it. He's not going with cruise to the top, man. He's going for rocket at the top and see if he can carry it to the bottom.
Yeah, well, let's hope his arms hold out. Well, he's had a mistake on gate 10. Didn't get the bows down quite enough. And all the hard work undone.
Yeah, he was going so well, but at least because he was so fast, he's not down too much. He's just up on, he's just down a touch or so more on the Liam. So see what he can do in the upright. Very good there as well. It's a solid run so far.
He made the Olympic final in Tokyo. He finished 7th, and then has yet to make a final this season, so it'd be great to see him in the final, but another penalty there, just a bit late into the spin on 19, and suddenly he's got to do the hard work all over again, because he made up a little bit of time again, and now he's gone again. It was it was a touch on 21 as well.
Yeah, just starting to pile on now, the touches, but it's a fine line. You know, you're in a semi-final, you want to try and make that final, you want to go for it, but then you can't make the mistakes when you're pushing the speed, so not quite finding the balance there today, I think.
So he exits the last upstream gate. It is 6 seconds of penalties, the big blemish to his quick run. 1:15.54 and only into 10th place. So unfortunately for Bug on this occasion, it's not going to be a place in the final. So next, Jean-Pierre Bourri of Senegal sets off, another paddler who'll be very familiar with this Pau course.
Yeah, you know Pau's a pretty good course by the amount of paddlers that are based here. You'll see as the paddlers come down, a lot of them are from Pau, and that's because it's such a nice course. Lots of great features. Really good place to learn canoe slalom.
Yeah, I was asking yesterday what makes it so special, and I think it's a combination, like you say, of that. It definitely is, and also just its year-round weather. It's if you're staying in Europe, then you can weather the winter. It's relatively kind in terms of winter temperatures and weather conditions. So that's what makes it such a popular venue. Well, in touch at the top, 0.24 down on race leader Liam Chagou of Ireland. Now, Jean-Pierre, just finding a little bit of stickiness as he runs into 16.
Yeah, this next split will be interesting. Solid. Oh, just losing his edge a bit. I was saying earlier, it's really hard to hold your core down there at the bottom, but those moves require you to be so strong.
So he's gone for the peel out. I don't know whether that was plan A, but he's gone round to set up for 20 to 21. Not sure he's going to pick up any time from that, but he at least has kept it clean.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision. I'm not sure, yeah, like you say, if that was planned, but he's just going to make do with it now and keep pushing. He suffered a bit of time on the clock on this bottom section.
Well, importantly, he is clean. Although, having said that, there is a review on 19. I suspect that's more to do with his unconventional approach and just whether he did get close to the pole, but into 11th place. And, well, no final today for Jean-Pierre. And at the moment, just no penalties showing. It is a clean run. We'll have to wait and see. But now, Thomas Kirklin of Switzerland on course. The Swiss had a good day yesterday. Took a silver medal in the men's kayak event. Martin do good.
Oh, he's very good there on the down left upright.
Thomas, another athlete based here in Pau, I think.
Yes, correct. Yeah. He's a very exciting paddler to watch. You see the nose flying up a lot, lots of sweeps and pivots. But this is looking really nice.
And he's up on the split. Now, we haven't seen him in the World Cup too much, but we have seen him at World Championships, and he was competitive there, 16th in the Worlds. Just missed the final. But he's certainly no stranger to making finals at World Cup level.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like he may have a medal here in Pau somewhere down in history. No, maybe.
I think you might be right, but I think it may have been the Tartan World Cup as well in 2020.
Yes. Well, he's flying though here. 3 seconds up. He's just got to hold through the bottom section now. Pretty good in the Kraken. We're looking at a blistering time from Thomas here.
Oh, and he's doing his high-risk move, 22, 23, he makes that work as well, throws the boat around. And he's always an exciting paddler to watch. He maybe makes you a bit nervous watching him, but
yeah, absolutely.
It's working out for him at the moment. There is a review on 14, but no penalty showing. Surely Thomas Kirklin for Switzerland is looking to go into the race lead here and get into the final. 105.44. He has raised the bar again. Wow. He takes the race lead, and surely that is going to be good enough for the final.
Yeah, I think so. I think 100 was a little bit optimistic from us earlier. I think that'll be up there.
Well, on course now for Slovakia, it's Marko Mirgorodski, who really was very strong through the World Cup season last year. Led it going into the final, and then unfortunately, in fact, on this course, was gazumped by Denis Gargaud-Chanou, and ended up missing out even on a podium spot in the overall standings. But super quick, but 2 touches already.
Oh, yeah, 1, 2, 3. 3 in a row. Just little touches too, just not quite on line. And when you're not quite on line in this sport, you get punished.
You can see the pace he's got. Oh, he's missed 13. It's one of those, isn't it? He looked like he was in a good position. He committed to the move, and then suddenly you just get washed away, and you just watch that gate get further away. It's an awful feeling.
It's interesting, actually. Surprised how many lefties, lefty paddlers, are spinning that move. He went direct, and yeah, he didn't make it. So it must be tougher than it looks for the lefties, for sure.
So Mirgorodski, disappointment for Slovakia. There will be no final for Marko. Currently, top Slovak paddler Michal Martikán sitting in 7th place at the moment with 13 boats to go. So unlikely to make the final, but never say never in this sport.
That's right.
10 boats will progress through into the final. The final will be here live at Planet Canoe, 11:30 Central European time today. The women's canoe final then followed immediately by the men's canoe final. But disappointment there for Marko Mirgorodski of Slovakia. That 50-second penalty on gate 13. Well, unlucky for him. Next up, for Great Britain, Adam Burgess. He was finalist at the World Championships. He finished 8th in Augsburg. He was 4th at the Olympic Games in Tokyo last year. And he was on the podium in the 2nd World Cup of the season.
Yeah, having a very solid season. He's known as the iceberg. He's very cool, calm and collected. Cold as ice. He lives for the cold plunge, this guy. He was looking for one this week. He was searching around for someone to get in the ice bath. His mental game is very strong.
He is indeed a bit of a kind of a guru on the Zen, the kind of mental approach and rest and recovery. So he's forced into the spin on 12. That was clearly a plan B, but he's made it work.
Yeah, he's done well there to fix that move again. The lefty struggling with the direct there.
So half a second down on the first split. It looks like he's got a good run into the upstream 16. That's been proving a little bit difficult on occasions for some athletes. And then here on the second split, we'll find out, wow, he's lost some time, 2.9 down. And a bit of work to do on the bottom.
Yeah, he's going to need to be good here. Looking a little bit low on the Kraken, I think. It's going to be tough from here. Adam's got to really, really go for it.
Yeah, it's a difficult move on the crossbow. And now ducks in 22 and 23. Keeps it clean. 2 gates to go. But 2.9 down. He's going to have to do something special on these last 2 upstream gates. Oh, it's sticky on the last upstream. Got a lot of support coming down the final sprint. 1:05.44 is the current lead time. He's outside of that. Stops the clock in 3rd place. 1:08.41. And well, it's a clean run, and it's just going to be a nervous wait. We are getting to the point of confirming who is going to make it into the final, and I have to say, that might be enough.
Possibly, yeah. 3rd, yeah. He's definitely in for a good shot.
Well, we've got one more boat to go on course until we start to confirm our finalists, and that is Maciej Benusz of Slovakia. He's a World Championship medalist, Olympic medalist, European champion, I think, and is a World Cup overall series winner on more than one occasion. Hasn't really discovered his vintage form this year, and interestingly enough, only 2 finals out of the 3. 5th place at the World Championships, but he's just lacking that sharpness.
Yeah, he hasn't just quite been there, I guess, in the finals this year, but He's very, very close, and he's very fast on the top of this course. This time's off Thomas Koshland too, which is a 1:05, so this is a fast run if he can hold it together.
Yeah, I've been a bit harsh on him, really, haven't I? Because he's coming down. We'll get an indication on the second split as he goes through gate 18 now, and well, he is still in touch.
Koshland was so good in that middle section, just carrying the speed so well. But he's a righty here, so that's going to help into this move.
Yeah, he's tight on 21, isn't he? That's going to help. It also helps on this run through 22 and 23, just to spot the line and keep the boat running.
Yeah, that was very good there. He didn't waste any energy, just and was patient to pick the line. Nice last two ups. This is going to be fast.
It is indeed. 1:05.44 the time to beat. He's going to be challenging the race lead time, surely. It may be. It is just inside and into first place. Matej Beneš of Slovakia surely will be in the final and won't have long to wait for confirmation.
No, I think he can feel pretty confident that he's going to be racing this afternoon.
11:30 Central European time, the final. So not long actually. 45 minutes we get underway with the women's canoe final, and then immediately after that it'll be the men's canoe final as we watch Alex Baldoni of Canada, who's had a good competition here in Pau.
Yeah, he's looking really good. He raced kayak as well, Alex?
Yeah. He did. And
in the semi-final?
Made the semi-final in the kayak, so an emerging name for Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome achievement. A young paddler, really starting to improve and looking good here today. Very smooth at the top, just a second shy, but that's off a really fast time from Matej Beneš, so he's still in this.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, he makes that boat look really light and skipping over the water, but he just goes a bit deep into the eddy on gate 12 and takes the time loss and a penalty. Now he's got to refocus and just put that mistake behind him, which he does. That's
very
tight
nice.
in 16.
Oh, very good there. One of the best we've seen today.
So he made the Junior World Championship final in 2021 last year, and he was 22nd at the World Championship, so starting to get some good results considering where he's at in terms of age, just 19 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great experience racing in these semi-finals, high pressure. Yeah, it's worth its weight in gold being here today.
So very good through 22 and 23. Not easy, that move, particularly with the physical nature. Now, was that a water splash on the run into 24?
Looked like water to me. See what the judges think.
Well, it's been given as a penalty, but it is being reviewed. So now, sprinting to the finish, Alex Baldoni of Canada stops the clock outside the final, 13th place, but he certainly shows he's got the pace if he can link it all together.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of great things there in that run. Lots to learn for him. Trying to be back even faster.
Well, on course now for France. The crowd are going to erupt because it is Nicolas Gestin, who has had a great season in the World Cup, lying third overall in the standings, and his performances, he's had a second place, a win, and then a 15th place at the last World Cup.
Yeah, he is having a great season, and he's at home here. He'll know this course back to front. Such a smooth paddler. You see there, centimetres perfect. A little bit of time though, lost in the top section. Let's see if he can build and make it back to the top. Sorry, at the bottom.
Well, let's see. Yes, he does look very composed, but has he got the pacing right for this semi-final run? We'll have to see. He's the under-23 World Champion of 2021. Finished just outside the final at the World Championships in 11th place.
Looking very good through here.
Yes, he's closed the margin now, 1.27, and I think looking at where we're at, you don't necessarily have to take a race win at this stage in the competition to get into the final. Then I think a position in the top three would be good enough to get a place in the final.
Yeah, he's still so composed. He looks so strong in his form, and he's still very upright, not falling on his strokes. It's really impressive.
Deceptively fast.
Yeah.
Goes for a sneaky little move on the last upstream. Not sure it was that quick because he didn't really get the exit. But he's going to surely make it into the final. He might have to wait. Yeah, he will have to wait a few minutes, but that's surely enough. 106.30 into third place. And Mate Penus and Thomas Kirkland confirmed as qualifiers already. And Nicola has to just wait and see. But on course now, Raffaello Ivaldi for Italy is on course. Well, he's always quick. He's an under-23 world silver medalist, and he's made 2 finals for the World Cup this season, World Cup 2 and 3.
Yeah, just missing the line on 4, I think, which put him off on the wave, and then a little bit low into 5. So he's got to really push now with the 2-second penalty there on his time. He's a really aggressive paddler, really whips the boat. So when he's on, he can be really fast.
And he takes a penalty on gate 10 as well. Just the power of the boat flicking up. Disappointing there. You can see he committed to the move, and there's nothing you can do about it, can you?
No, you just got to put your head down and keep going. He absolutely crushed 9 and 10 there, though. Really, really fast. Not turning the boat up much at all. Keeping the speed on.
Well, we're watching the men's canoe semi-finals here, live from Pau. Brody Crawford from the Australian team alongside me, Adi Maddock, and we're getting into the sharp end of racing. We only have 8 boats still to finish, so we really are going to determine who those finalists are. And Ivaldi, it's slipping away, I feel, as we come into the bottom of the course.
Yeah, he's been good on the bottom, but I'm not sure it'll be enough to make the final. It's a very good finish considering the top section he's had. It'll be interesting to see what his finishing time's going to be.
Lying in 10th place in the overall World Cup standings, and a final would be very significant for keeping those points coming in. The World Cup final next week, double points up for grabs, will be even more significant. But only 9th place for Raffaello, and he knows it. It's kind of good, but not good enough.
Yeah, those touches hurt him there.
So from one paddler to another, Lukáš Rohan, the Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo for the Czech Republic, goes on course, and well, he's a World Cup winner, and he had a bronze medal early on in the season on his home course. Since then has not made a final.
Yeah, a bit out of character. He's usually, most of the finals fighting for the medals, but he can be really fast when he's having his run. So don't count him out today. I reckon he could be really good. This is looking like a solid start. Very good there. 1.5.
Well, that's enough in terms of making it through into the final. If you can just stabilise that and keep the boat running, deliver what is needed. But it's easier said here in the commentary box than it is out on the water.
Yeah, absolutely. The paddlers make it look so easy. You can sometimes forget how hard it really is to get out there and put down a full-length run.
He's super tight on 16, and they almost had to duck off it to make sure that, in fact, it is being reviewed just to make sure his whole head was the correct side of the gate. And 2.1 down, then, well, he's still in touch.
Yeah, and going for the swap for the Kraken, and it's paid off. In nice and high.
Very nicely done on 21.
That's a bit of a new trick, I think, for Lukáš Rohan, the swap. Looks like it's worked for him today.
Switches back as he runs into 24. And no penalties showing, despite the review on gate 16. And they'll be reviewing that for a 50. So hopefully it goes in his favour and stays clean as he comes down towards the finish. He's going to be outside the top 3 and into 4th place.
Qualified.
So he is automatically qualified, you're right. But still an asterisk just whilst they complete that review on gate 16. So Liam Jagu for Ireland sitting on the bubble now, waiting to see if he's done enough as we watch bib number 1, Benjamin Savcek, the Olympic champion from Tokyo on course. He's a he's a world champion, he's a multiple world championship medalist and a multiple European champion.
Yeah, a master of efficiency as well, Savcek is. You watch, he does so few strokes. Every bit of energy he expels works to push the boat where he wants it to go. It's really impressive. Very patient. Look at that, he's up.
Up on the split. Well, that's a good sign. He's leading the World Cup standings. It's fair to say he's joint leader with his compatriot Luka Bozic, who's still to run in this men's canoe semi-final. So making the final will be critical to keep those valuable points in the World Cup standings coming in. Not great on 16 though, but it's amazing again. He didn't panic, did he?
No.
Kept his cool and delivers it.
Yeah, and comes in high to the up still. It's amazing. It's like magic.
So there is a review going on gate 9 and no penalties showing at the moment. It's just a routine, I suspect.
Working a little bit harder than maybe he wanted to into that upright there. Oh, just saving it through the down-down. Gonna need to push to the finish here. Very nice in the up 2021.
Yeah, it's part of a big battle last year for the World Cup. This was the World Cup final in the World Cup last year, and there was a big battle in the men's canoe event to take the overall World Cup. He was in the mix, but it was Gargo Chanou that took the honours in the end. He's still to come in this semi-final, but into 4th place. Well done. You're in the final. Benjamin Savcek, the Olympic champion, is comfortably into the final, and there's still a bit of time in that run.
Yeah. And here comes Tristan Carter. Yeah, an Australian athlete, my teammate. Had a ripper qualification run. Really, really smooth paddler, really fast when he's having his run, and that really nice 4-5.
Yeah,
it's a great start.
Pins it on the top, and so important also to your confidence and your rhythm as you then come around the corner and kind of continue to build on your run. 5 to go in this men's canoe semi-final, and there's a touch there on gate 10, just the back of the buoyancy aid.
Yeah, it's a shame. He was in touch before getting that 2-second penalty, so he's on a fast run. He can hold it together.
It's good through 12 and 13. He got a good squirt from the pivot, and that helped him to get the bows down early. That's where the quick times come from. 16's good as well.
Very nice.
So at the moment we have Benosh, Kirklin, Gestin, Savcek and Jigu, who have qualified through, and still 5 to be determined, but what that does...
Oh, very nice here from Tristan. He's actually up on Benosh in raw time, so this is a really fast run.
And I don't want to point away, but Lukas Rohan has been given a 50-second penalty on gate 16, so unfortunate for him, and equally late penalty there for Tristan Carter at the bottom of the course.
He's got to go now. So good until that second last up.
Digging deep,
push, mate.
Finding those reserves, and 1:10.25. It's a good run, and look at that time. It's a very competitive time, but 11th place outside the final, but 1:06.25. He'll be pleased with that.
Yeah, that was a great run. You know, 95% of that run was world class, so much to take away from that. Very solid.
4 to go. On course now, Luka Bozic of Slovenia, joint World Cup leader after the first 3 races of the season, and a little stutter there at the top of the course, but he keeps his cool, delivers gate 5.
Very good. Keeps his balance and posture, and yeah, like Savcek, so smooth.
But he has picked up a touch on the bow of the boat on gate 6. There was no doubt about that.
Oh, so tight in the up left 9 there, but doing well to keep it clean.
He won a World Championship bronze medal in 2019. 14th at the World Championships, a bit disappointed with that, but his World Cup so far, he won the first race of the season, then just missed out the final in Krakow, and then straight back in Tartzen to second in the race.
2.8 down on the first split. He's got some work to do, but if anyone can do it, I'd say Bozic make back that time. This next split is going to be interesting. There you go. 1.3 seconds done. Made up already.
Yeah, job
back
done.
running.
Well, and of course the job here is to get into the final, and at the moment 3.77 down is, in fact, it's actually 4.62. That's what he's got to be inside in order to secure an automatic qualification spot. He's well on track for that. There is a review going on 6, but in my opinion, it was quite clear that he touched that. That's just routine, and there's certainly no risk of any additional penalty going on there.
This is really fast. This could challenge the lead.
Can he take the race lead with a touch? Not quite, but it's the fast time. Raw time, 104.25. That's the fastest we have seen today in this men's canoe competition. There it is, gate 6. Unfortunate for him, but he lives to survive for another run. He's in the final. Well done, Luka Berčič, joint World Cup leader at the moment. As we watch Moen Debliki for France, the 3rd French boat. At the moment, France has 1 confirmed qualifier into the final. Can they add to that?
So good, 4 to 5. Such an interesting line he just took. I haven't seen it yet. He went as far left as he could and really picked up the curl on the side of the wave and worked really well into the upright. 18 years old, such a young talent.
Yeah, and he's the under-23 world champion, silver medalist in the under-23 European Championships. At, just 18 years old. Yeah, straight transition from juniors to under-23s. 6th at the World Championships. Surely a name to watch, and he'd be deadly on this home course.
Yeah, absolutely. So impressive. The skill is impressive, but almost as impressive is the mental fortitude these young guys have to race at the highest level and hold it together.
So we could have 3 French boats in the final. That would be popular amongst the crowd. He's gone to our virtual race leader by a very small margin. He's going to be low in 21. I think that race lead time is maybe slipping away, but the final is still very much in the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got lots of time to burn, so he just needs to be conservative really on the bottom and just finish his run off. He's done the hard work.
So at the moment, Wojciech Heger of the Czech Republic is sitting on the bubble. Burgess, Žagu, Savcek, Gestan, Berčič, Kirklin, Benos are confirmed. So is Debliki going to make it into the final comfortably into 5th place? Well done, Moen Debliki of France. You can't believe it. He's in the final. Wow. So there is a review going on, but I didn't see anything that would present any concern as we now watch the penultimate boat in this men's canoe semi-final. Miguel Trave of Spain sets off, and he rescues that. How committed was he on that move?
Yeah, made it work, carried the speed. So light and strong is Trave. Just can turn the boat so fast, whip it round. He really always stays on top of the water. Really carries the speed. Just a little touch there on 10. We've seen that one quite a few times now. But he's in touch apart from that, so...
Yeah, gate... Well, he was 12th at the World Championships. That gate 10 has taken a bit of a battering in the men's canoe event today. It does look very smooth, and if he can just stay in touch, 2.5 seconds, that will give him a comfortable margin to not take any risks at the bottom of the course. He's closed the gap, 1.65, and considering he's got a penalty, that's showing his pace. He's well on track, so Wojciech Heger may have to wait again to see if he's done enough to make the final for the Czech Republic, because Miguel Trave, just 2 gates to go, and he looks very much in control and certainly challenging a top 3 place here.
Yeah, I think this could be really quick. He was so good on the Kraken, just the boat flew in there.
Is he going to challenge the race lead? Well, he could do. 104.64 is the time to beat. It's going to be outside that, but comfortably into the final, into 2nd place for Miguel Trave of Spain. And, well, he's pleased justifiably. So, we have 9 confirmed finalists, 1 boat to go. He was fastest in the heats. He is the reigning World Cup champion of 2021. He won the race here in Pau last season, and he is, well, an Olympic champion, a world champion, a European champion. It is Canoe-Kayak, who he seems to thrive under pressure.
He does. He's so good to watch. He's always good to watch, but especially good to watch on Pau.
Super smooth there as he delivers that move into the upstream gate 5. There'll be a few people looking at that, I suspect, on a video ahead of the final.
Absolutely. You watch Denny, again, like Savsek and those other really high-level guys. No strokes are wasted.
So you see him switching the blade ahead of taking on this move 12, 13 forwards.
Yeah, wow, nails it as a righty, which isn't his natural side. So really impressive how far he's come on that right side.
So now into the main area where most of the spectators are here in the sunshine in Pau. And already 2 French boats in the final, and they'll be hoping for 3. Well, he's on track to take the race lead here.
Yeah, he's certainly putting on a masterclass so far. He's making it look easy out there.
You're right, and he doesn't look like he's trying, but he certainly is. And you're right, it's just about he's being really good with his stroke placement, taking no risks. But, ouch, well, he'll lose a few tenths on that, but no dramas on penalties. Gargo Canoe now coming into the final upstream gate. He may cruise to the finish, but he is comfortably into the final. And, well, the French crowd go wild because 3 boats in the final, and he is into 6th place. And we know there's a bit of time left there for Denis.
He had us on the edge of our seats there. Missing the swap, so needs to brush up a little bit more on that swapping.
Well, that final will be at around about 12 o'clock, but join us at 11:30 Central European time for the women's canoe final, then the men's canoe final. But it is Canoe-Kayak who survives a scare in the semi-final to qualify. 3 French boats in the final. Wow. But it is Mate Benos of Slovakia who wins this semi-final. He goes off last. And what are your reflections there, Brody, from this men's canoe semi-final?
Yeah, it was really, really high-level final. It was interesting to see the French dominating on their home course, and a few locals in there too. Liam Gergu, I think really impressive from Adam Burgess. I don't know whether you know, Andy, but he only got a day's training because of the Brexit and the Schengen visa. He can only be here for one day before the race. So really impressive for him to qualify off so little training. And yeah, I'm excited to see all these guys go for it.
Yeah, Adam Burgess will be off first in that final later on. And big shock, no Czechs in the final.
Yeah, wow, that is a shock. Very close, a few of them, but I think great result from Trummer too. He led from almost the start of the race, ending up 12th there. So.
Yeah, and the fairy tale didn't happen for Mikhail Martikán, but I believe will we see him in Seo again?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I hope so. Always good to watch Martikán, and you never know what he can do out there. He's so good. So, yeah, hopefully next week we see him again.
And you know what? Without that penalty, he would have been just outside. He'd be in 11th place. So he's still got the pace, even at 43 years old.
Unbelievable.
Well, that concludes the racing in this morning's men's and women's canoe semi-finals here in Pau. And well, we'll bring you the results, the final men's canoe results very shortly. But don't forget, the finals will get underway 11:30 Central European time. And actually, that's only just over 20 minutes away. So time to just take a breather.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. Women to come, and we've got some big hitters in the final. My teammate Jess Fox, let's see what she can do.
So here are the 10 finalists in the men's canoe. Mate Benos will be last off in that final, but look at that, 3 French boats. Great to see a Swiss boat again. Switzerland having a great competition here in Pau. Liam Gergu for Ireland, Adam Burgess for Great Britain. And then, as we say, the Czech Republic, no boats in the top 10. Chalupka, the world champion of 2021, is close along with Hager. Then also it was performance of Lucas Rohan as well. A 50-second penalty picked up, and that kept him out. But that's it from Pau for now. We'll see you back for the women's canoe final very shortly. Bye for now.
Thank you.